So today I want to talk about what I like about girls, and the reason why I'm not saying what men like about girls is because me, I don't know what all men like about girls, but this is what I like about girls. Number one, of course, nyash. Okay, the reason for that ni juu, so basically a good physique. Kwa nini? I don't know, it's just a thing that mwanaume akiona tuna feel tu poa, tunakuangalianga tu tuna feel wow, umse yenyewe amerembeka. And the other thing also is the face, so it's not just the body, also the face. Like you want a woman when you can stare into her eyes and not feel like you're feeling awkward or anything. So sometimes if a guy sees a lady mwenye ni mrembo, you will notice that most of the times anaweza baki amestare, anaweza baki amekuangalia, and it's not because that he's trying to be weird or anything. Ni venye tu like your beauty has captivated him in such a way that yani hata ameshindwa kutoa macho, and it's like the other people ndio wanamwambia we umeangaliwa dem sana, and sometimes you don't notice because you are like, you just want to see all the features. So by the time a guy is looking into a woman, anaangalia like sura ya dem, anaangalia macho, anaangalia hizi, anaangalia nini, anaangalia kama pua, anaangalia lips, anaangalia, like he's looking at everything and he's just admiring the whole of you. So face is also a thing that personally mimi napenda. The other thing also is how ladies have conversations. Like ladies can be very intentional with conversation in terms of hadi unaweza jipata sometimes unacheka just because of something they have said, and maybe they're not even trying to be funny, but because unasikia tu ako ka connection amemake kwa hiyo conversation, ama unasikia tu venye thought yake, venye amefikiria hiyo kitu, like what is her perception of the thing that she's talking about. Unajipata sometimes it's funny to a guy because probably we hauwezi fikiria hivyo ama haufikiriangi hivyo, but you listen to a lady, unasikia venye anafikiria, unajipata tu umecheka, not because ume take for granted Kenya amesema, but because you are like okay, kumbe hivyo ndio umeona hiyo situation. So sometimes I love ladies because I like ladies because like they are very intentional with conversations. Ni msemo mwenye akianza kukuongelesha, it's almost like they consider everything that they are saying. Nika ni watu wenye wanasoma kitu wanasema, but in real sense hakuna pali anasoma, but they are very intentional with everything that they say. So that's also another thing I like about ladies. Kitu ingine also, mademo wanakuwaga funny by the way, wanakuanga na sense of humor ingine, especially with the different ladies have different sense of humor. So you can find huyu, like let's say for me, I may find one girl funny and a guy cannot, mwanaume mwingine anaweza kaa chini aone aude makwagi funny, but mimi nikimsikiza na feel ude anakuanga funny sana because they are very satirical. Ni wale wase watatumia satire, ni wale wase wenye atasema joke even without laughing, and then they just look at you aone kama umeshika. And sometimes I don't know kama wanaifanyanga intentionally, but sometimes a lady will say something funny, extremely funny, lakini atakuangalia tu ni kama hata hakuna kitu amesema, and then baadaye ndo unafikiria no dem amesema nini by the way. So ladies can be very funny, and of course kuna wale sasa wa ana crack jokes after jokes after jokes after jokes. I love it kabisa about ladies. The other thing naweza sema ni, I think when it comes to ladies sometimes, and I will say something about the conversation, when you're having a conversation with a lady, si mara moja nime notice that when a lady is having a conversation with me, akiongea sometimes I get lost. So bado unasikia akiongea, but sometimes you get lost in thoughts, hata ukwagi ukijua unafikiria nini, but sometimes it's almost like hata dem, and the funny thing yati, dem ana notice unapotea, ama dem ana notice like this guy is like he's almost not listening to me, lakini bado anaendelea kuongea, so you are there akili yako imeenda mbali, but bado dem anaongea and she's still continuing with the conversation. So that's the other thing, madem ameivisha kupea na story, like a lady will give you a story from A to Z, anaweza kupe all the details za hiyo siku, anaweza kupangia story hadi you feel and that's why I guess for them wanapenda vitu kama moshene, wanapenda gossip. Why? Because for them they are good storytellers, wanajua kupea na story from A to Z, and that's why you'll find most ladies complain, wewe unipe story vizuri. Why? Because yeye anajua kuna venye unafaa kupea na story, kuna venye unafaa kuanza mwanzo, unipe venye ilienda hadi sasa the conclusion. But ladies are very good at storytelling, so that's one of the things that I really like about ladies, because anytime unakaa na dem you are sure atakupea story. Kwanza dem akianza kuranta aanze kukuambia mashida zake you are sure atakwambia. So when they are talking about boy problems, they are talking about relationship issues, like anaweza kupea story hadi uko like wow, so they are the best spend of time because anakupea story enye at least ina pass to time, like mnaongea tu story lakini ni time tu mna pass, but it's very important for you to feel like okay, by the way dem amepeana hiyo story. The other thing I like about ladies ni mind games. Yani dem anaweza kuchezea mind games hadi wewe ubaki umefurahi, because it's almost like they know how to get into your mind. You know, there are ladies wenye wanakuongeleleanga wakiwa hapa, and I'm not talking about the toxic ladies, I'm just talking about madem wenye wamemaster kuingia in your head. They can get in your head, they can get any information they want, and sometimes they will manipulate you to answer a question enye hakuwa amekuuliza. So anakuzungusha, you think she's trying to find out about this ama she's trying to find out about this, especially ukiwa kwa relationship. Unaweza pata amekuzungusha and finally utajipata we mwenyewe ukisema the thing enye haukunataka kumwambia. So they manipulate you to a point where you end up saying something ama end up answering a question enye hakuwa amekuuliza. So ameileta alafu ameiacha. So one of the thing I notice also ladies do, and these are things I like. Why? Because ako ka mind games zingine kana kwa kapua, cause inakuchangamsha kama mwanaume, you know, like you don't live a dormant life. Sometimes there's how would I say, there's fun in just listening to ladies talk, and you can feel umse kuna pali anapeleka hii conversation, umse kuna pali anapeleka hii story, and most of the times they are disappointed anytime ana realize umekosa kuchukua bait ama umekosa kumwambia story venye alikuwa anataka kusikia. Why? Because they are trying to lead you to talk about it and you're not talking about it. So sometimes they feel disappointed. The other interesting thing na naweza sema funny thing about ladies is the fact that they don't ask you something directly. So tuseme anataka kujua kitu, hata kuuliza directly, atazunguka. So even as a guy, sometimes ukinotice akifanya hivyo, wewe mwenyewe ndio unajipata unamwambia uniulize tu hiyo swali unataka kuuliza. Okay, so they always pass, you know, indirectly, and that's why you'll find most ladies will say, hey, nikuje kwako alafu nichomwe na maji moto. Why? Because hataki kukuuliza directly kama uko na mtu ama hauna mtu. Okay, some will tell you wako na mtu because some will wengine wanakuanga curious why you are not asking them if they are dating or not. But you see, a guy doesn't want to ask that question because anaona as long as unaniongelesha then uko interested, kama hutaki kuniongelesha then hauko interested. So for him, he'll talk to you as long as you're continuing to talk to him, because ana feel hiyo basi ni sign ya kumuonesha you are interested in him, whether you have a guy or whether you don't have a guy. Okay, but overall mimi naweza sema madem ni watu wenyewe like they make life much easier ama they make life much enjoyable. For me, I feel like sometimes, you know, sometimes men hawajafika. See, I don't think it's all men who have gotten to that point where they see the value in women in terms of just having a good life ama having naweza semaje, yani kujibamba kwa maisha, you know. And sometimes it's not all about mechi, sometimes it's not all about sijui intimacy na nini, sometimes hata kuongea tu, having just conversations. There are many times mimi naweza kwambia personally, I have been in a situation where nimefeel niko down ama na feel leo sina moods, leo na feel tu niko hivi, and then you talk to a lady, mnaongea hata hamuongei anything that ina add up ama anything ina make sense, and you end up feeling good, una feel your energy, I really needed that energy, you know, around me. So sometimes that feminine energy yenye inakam na madem inakonga very important. Sometimes usijisurround sana as a guy, don't surround yourself sana ati na wanaume 24/7, hapana. Sometimes kaa karibu na dem, skiza, hata kama you guys are not dating, sometimes it's good to have friends who are ladies, so that at least ukiwa in that space they are able to give you that energy. Unakuwa able kupata yako ka balanced energy, yeah, you know, testosterone, and then you have feminine energy on this other side. It's important. Okay, I'm not saying ifike to the level yenye inakuwa affect unaanza kukua feminine pia nasema you just have to surround yourself kidogo na wao, so that you feel maisha ni easy. Una get like, as in, don't take life too seriously, be around ladies. All right,
Gachin Lion.